Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. Just finished watching the Ever-Chosen, and a huge congratulations to Falcon for winning, Hyalanala for second place, Tlaxon Soothsayer for third, and Aerocrastic for fourth. It was a great time. Super glad I got to participate, even though I did lose 2-0 in the first round. I still feel like they were both pretty decent games. Especially the second one. I'll be talking more about that later, but let's jump into this battle here. We've got Felix with the Empire here, Boris, and an Amber Wizard, so let's go ahead and get to it against Namru's Dark Elves. He's got Lokir Felheart, a mix of Corsairs, some Dread Spears, Feral Manticore, and a Beast Summoner from more Manticores. Looks like double Feral Manticore, very strong. We've also got Cold One Knights, some Dark Riders with shields, and yeah, good stuff all around. Looks like a Bolt Thrower as well. For myself, of course, 4 Pistoliers, because why not? Got 5 Spearmen, and of course the Sigmar Sons with Felix, and yeah, Boris on a Pegasus, and the Amber Wizard on a Griffin. So obviously we've got the Terror and AP of the Amber Wizard, can also summon Manticores. Boris on the Pegasus just has better combat stats than he does on the Griffin, and is also a bit cheaper, so he's really good at taking on Malekith and such in the air. And yeah, Felix is also here to give some helping hands, also give some healing potentially in the late game. If we dive down with like the Amber Wizard and take a bunch of damage, we can come back to Felix and try and heal up a bit. But yeah, Namru's just kind of pushing forward here. We're going to see if we can't get a good engagement with the Cav. I've already been doing some decent skirmishing with these Pistoliers on the Dread Spears, and just sort of getting some good engagements there. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get in. The double Knights of the Blazing Sun going to charge straight into the front line, right into these Corsairs. With their lowish melee defense and, you know, decent armor, but not the best. They will take quite a bit of shock damage from that charge there. I do need to get rid of them so that I can win the infantry fight more decisively. Flock of Doom as well from the Dark Elf side. And, yeah, Lokir looking like he wants to come after this Amber Wizard, potentially. The 2 Manticores drop down to go after the Empire Knights, so I go ahead and pull back. And once they're isolated like this, then we can turn around and charge. And with the high charge bonus and the lack of armor on the Manticores, the Knights of Blazing Sun will do very well here. You can see doing a lot of shock damage, proccing the Enrage. We also drop Boris in on a rear charge. The Amber Wizard also comes on a rear charge for this other Feral Manticore, and just by leadership, we're able to break these 2 Manticores off, which is obviously quite advantageous. Lokir coming in a bit late to the party. I'm going to try and block him up with this Manticore, but it doesn't look like it actually got in there. We'll see. The Manticore's being summoned on the Beastman's, or sorry, not the Beastman, the Dark Elf side, so he's going to come in and fight my Manticore. So just, you know, if there weren't enough Manticores everywhere, you know, clearly we need to have this happening also. I'm going to be chasing off a couple on the Dark Elf side. Meanwhile, here I managed to catch these Cold One Knights with a nice charge. Again, with the shock damage from the charge bonus of the Knights of Blazing Sun, they will be able to pretty decisively win that engagement there. Over here in the back line, these Empire Knights had cleaned up a fair number of units over here, and now going to get in Cold One Knights. They will lose this fight, obviously, but we'll be able to hold out for some time as well. Frontline engagement's a bit of a wash. Felix is doing a nice job kind of supporting against these Dread Spears, but otherwise it's relatively even across the board. Dark Riders are trying to get in here, bog up the Pistoliers, but I'm managing to keep my Pistoliers free. And you can see here, we've got the Helping Hands on Boris, so he's up to 104 melee attack with 44% damage resistance. We're going to catch Malekith out here isolated with Boris, with the Amber Wizard, and with the Feral Manticore as well, all fighting together. You can see Malekith's going to start taking consistent hits here. He does have a Raging Manticore coming in to help, but will it be enough? Looks like Helping Hands wore off on Boris, but still. In the center, the Sigmar Sun's getting ground down, but again, Felix is doing a nice job just sustaining in this fight here. The Feral Manticores are pretty much broken for Namru. He does still have this one fighting, but going to summon one more here. So both Manticore summons on both sides have been used. And yeah, Empire obviously with the superior Beastcaster here as the only hero-type character that can actually take a Griffin, and I think that's honestly what makes him so strong, especially with Felix, because obviously the Amber Wizard's downside is that it's relatively squishy, right? Low armor, lowish melee defense, but with Felix giving that Helping Hands for the damage resistance and the ability to heal, like if I dive down with a Griffin near Felix and just fight next to him for a while, I can get some of that trickle healing, so it's quite nice. You can see Malekith taking a ton of damage here, again, just from the multi-single entities in the air, the Manticore and everything. On the ground, Pistoliers continuing to do their job, just kind of bogging up this back line, doing some skirmishing and kiting. Knights of the Blazing Sun in a pitched engagement once again with the Cold One Knights here. Man, both super cool looking units. Obviously, I'm a little biased towards the Empire, but yeah, the Amber Wizard comes down again. Next to Felix, he'll be able to get some healing. Comes in to snipe his Dark Elf Sorceress sort of counterpart here. And yeah, good stuff so far. You can see Boris is also chasing Malekith there. We're going to get a nice Flock of Doom from the Beastcaster here, and you can see the Wizard gets terrified there. And again, anytime that FELIX is in melee here, you can see that Amber Wizard just trickling in a little bit of HP. It's not a ton, but again, any little bit helps, especially with a squishier, more expensive character. I mean, granted, the Amber Wizard in this kit's probably only about 1,700 points, so it's really not that expensive. But, you know, relatively expensive, at least in terms of Empire troop standards. But yeah, you can see Boris wasn't doing the best in that fight. He was holding him up okay for some time, but we come back over, again, try and get near FELIX, see if we can't get that helping hands once again. The Amber Wizard finally going to get back into that Bolt Thrower crew, which has been able to just fire the whole time, but nope, looks like we're actually going after Malekith. And again, the helping hands on Boris, just juicing up his melee attack so significantly there, and he should be able to get some good damage in on Malekith here. Looks like a couple good hits there, a couple tickles from the Flock of Doom as well. And yeah, Malekith is not doing too hot. Feral Manticore coming back from route. I do have a lot of troops in the periphery though, especially these Pistoliers that can come in the late game here. But yeah, Malekith getting taken out by Boris is obviously a big loss here, down to only 119 HP. Oh man, is he also getting a trickle heal from FELIX? Because he doesn't have... I don't know about that. I'll have to check that. Looks like the Amber Wizard actually fell there, but I'll have to do some testing. If he was also getting a trickle heal from FELIX, then that's obviously not intended. But at the same time, yeah, Boris drops down in here, and that's going to be army losses. So very well played to Namru. It's definitely a fun game. Interesting matchup. There's definitely a lot of ways you can go, but just recently I've been favoring this FELIX double Griffin build because, again, FELIX can heal the 2 Griffins. He can give the helping hands as well, especially to the Amber Wizard, who's a little bit squishier. But even to Boris, makes Boris a much, much more dangerous melee combatant. On the Griffin as well, of course, you can make him a much more dangerous melee combatant. And yeah, just the mass spears. FELIX kind of helps hold up the infantry line a little bit. Knights of the Blazing Sun did a great job charging out the Cold One Knights there. And obviously Pistoliers just doing their great skirmishing. On Namru's side, I definitely love the pick of the double Feral Manticore, plus the Manticore summons. It's just a lot for the Empire to have to deal with. Obviously, he did get a few bad engagements with his cav there, but yeah, Loke here, one thing Namru didn't notice is he didn't notice FELIX early on in the battle because he was hidden in the Sigmar's Sons. They more or less have the same banner, right? So at a glance, it's very easy to mistake, you know, it's just the banner fluttering around, or you may not even see that there's another unit there. So yeah, FELIX in the late game with the helping hands definitely was surprising for Namru. We were chatting kind of after the game, and he did mention that he didn't know that FELIX was there, and that he was wondering why Malekith wasn't doing much better. Or sorry, not Malekith. Lokir probably made that mistake multiple times throughout the match, but whatever. Lokir was doing quite well. But yeah, I think honestly maybe you just take Lokir or take Malekith instead of Lokir because he has the self-healing, and just forego the Lore of Beasts here. Maybe go a little bit wider on your army. I'm not really sure, but with the double Feral Manticores plus Malekith, I mean, I think just because you can Word of Pain, you can, again, Soul Stealer, like that single entity blob of the Amber Wizard and Boris, and you can even Soul Stealer FELIX as well. I just think it would maybe work a little bit better, but definitely a very fun game from Namru. Yeah, in terms of Dark Elves and Empire are both kind of factions that can go in different directions. Like, they're both very flexible and versatile, so it's one of the more interesting matchups in my opinion. Cold One Knights are obviously a good pick here. I think he should have even gone with more Cold One Knights potentially, just because they trade really efficiently with most Empire cavalry, and obviously, you know, anti-large AP is quite good here. Let's see, Malekith, I may take him on the dragon. Let's grab Word of Pain and Soul Stealer. And yeah, from there, let's see. I definitely like the Dread Spears. Corsairs are okay, but I might go with Bleak Swords instead just to go a little bit cheaper. And then from here, we can do a few different things. The double Feral Manticore is quite strong, so we'll grab them. And then we do need maybe a couple Dark Riders to run down units as well. You could try and change things up a little bit here. Maybe even take Malekith like on the Chariot, and then just use the Manticores up in the air. That would free up a little bit of funds to, say, grab some Witch Elves, or you could also grab, you know, the Bolt Thrower might be a decent pick here to go after Cav. Or, yeah, there's some different things you could do. An Assassin also might not be a bad idea to help support Malekith with the trophy heads, and just also to spread some poison damage around, so maybe something like this. I mean, again, there's a million different ways you can go with both of these factions, so it's a very, very dynamic matchup. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. For those of you guys familiar, how would you go about this as the Dark Elves? And likewise, what Empire builds do you favor? Yeah, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.